Shalom and good day, my brothers and sisters. Coming up here to give you now part two of Deliverance in Zion and in Jerusalem, the prophecy of the deliverer slash redeemer. Now, in part one, I hope y'all picked up on something that we read by the prophets. And if it is revealed in the scriptures of this part two, then I would share it. But if not, it would definitely be in part three. It was something that we learned from the prophets that we read in the prior video, looking at Zechariah, Micah, and Joel, looking at those prophets as well as Amos. And just go back and meditate. If you have not watched part one, watch part one to get those scriptures, but meditate, and we're going to see how everything's coming together, and we're going to see the bigger picture. So, what you see before you is a picture of the waters departing. And this is one of the great signs and miracles that would take place, giving us understanding of Revelation 18, or when he's saying to us, depart out of Babylon. Okay? Depart out of her. Okay? So as you know, our Father would give us signs. He would give us messengers as well, like his prophets and prophetess, to understand what must we do when that time comes. As well as he gave us the testimonies of our forefathers, because as the Bible is true, he is always the same. He has always sent a deliverer or a messenger or a leader to um, save or to deliver his people out of danger or from the hands of evil or to set them free, etc. Okay, so we're going to look at the title of this word for today. This is part two. Okay, we'll be looking at Romans chapter 11, verse 26 to 27, as well as this pertain to the prophetic message that the Father had me to speak to Bel, who is Satan. Okay, but we're going to home in on today on the 10 tribes. This is dealing with Northern Kingdom. And we're going to look at the prophet Ezra, Ezra, but in the Greek tongue, they say Esdras, Esdras. We're going to look at this prophet of the prophetic message that he has for the northern kingdom, the 10 lost tribes. Okay. And this is going to confirm what I'm sharing with y'all. So, because we know our Father is a righteous God. He's not going to leave the righteous behind. He will have a way of escape for you, whether you are of one of these four groups, which are the bride of the Messiah, the 144,000 Israelites, the house of Israel, that's Northern Kingdom, 10 tribes, and the house of Judah, that is Southern Kingdom. Okay? So I will be sharing some copyright material with you. So the title of this word is we're looking at the 10. I'm gonna put in here. I need to put in here the 10 lost tribes. And looking at the prophetic message for them and their deliverance in Zion and in Jerusalem, the prophecy of the Redeemer and the prophecy of the deliverer and slash Redeemer. Forgive my tongue, y'all. So we're gonna go straight into it, but I'm going back to this picture one more time because we're gonna see this written in the scriptures. Now we're looking at Prophet Ezra. If you learn anything about this high priest of Israel, Ezra, he was giving the part that Daniel was not given when we're looking at the book of Revelations. So most of you are aware to understand what Revelation is saying unto us. Not only do you have to look at the prophets such as Daniel, but we also has to look at Ezra too. For the part that was given unto him will help you to understand what is going on now, which is the present, as well as the past, and what is yet to come, which is the future. And it will enlighten you to understand. Hold on, y'all. Let me take care of something right quick because I want to make sure this do not come on. Tell you this is what happens when you have too many devices. Anyway, let me turn something else off too. Okay, so Ezra is the piece that will help you to understand the bigger picture of what is yet to come, which is the future. Revelation. Another word or what the Catholic will use, because it's in their Bible as well, is the apocalypse. Okay? What's coming. So I'm in 2nd Ezra chapter 13. You will find his writings in the Apocrypha. The Apocrypha is a part of the 1611, but it was removed by the Christians. Not by the Christians, by the Protestants. Excuse me, y'all. It was removed by the Protestants. And I just need to check one thing just to make sure. Making sure my volume is doing fine. Okay. Okay. So my volume is fine. All right. 2nd Ezra chapter 13. This is a long chapter, but you're going to see why it's very important for us to read each verse. And this is why this chapter is only in part 2. Okay. 2nd Ezra chapter 13. It saith this in the chapter summary. He seeth in his dream a man coming out of the sea. So this is Ezra, the high priest of Israel. He seeth a man in his dream coming out of the sea. The declaration of his dream, he is praised and promised to see more. So in this same chapter, it's going to give us the understanding of what his dream is. It's going to break it down. Okay. Verse 1. And it came to pass after 7 days, I dreamed a dream by night. And lo, there arose a wind from the sea, that it moved all the waves thereof. And I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. Do y'all hear that? That man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. And when he turned his countenance to look, all the things trembled that was under him. Do y'all hear that? When he turned his countenance to look, all things trembled that were seen under him. Okay. Verse 4. Whensoever the voice went out his mouth, all day burnt that heard his voice, like as the earth faileth when it filleth the fire. Do y'all hear that? So when this man who came out to sea, when he opened his mouth, all they burned who heard his voice. And it's compared to as like as the earth faileth when it filleth the fire. So it's like fire coming out his mouth, burning them, right? When they hear his voice, the living word. Verse 5. And after this I beheld, and lo, there were gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of heaven, the four winds, the east, the south, the west, the north, to subdue the man that came out of the sea. And I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain, and flew up upon it. So he had what? Graved himself or made himself a mountain, and he flew up upon it. So he flew up upon the mountain. But I would have, but I would have seen the region or place whereout the hill was graven. I could not. So he couldn't see where this mountain came from, y'all. Like I said, you have to read the whole volume of the book because the answer is given in the gospel. Well, not the gospel, I mean the renewed marriage, which is the testament of this mountain that Ezra is talking about, that he could not see where it came from. Okay. Verse 8. And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, and yet thus fight. Even though these people was afraid of this man, they still went to fight him. Okay. Verse 9. And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war. Notice this. He didn't have any instrument of war, nor did he have to raise his hand or do anything. Okay, to this violent multitude that came to attack him. Verse 10. But only I saw that he sent out his mouth. Do y'all hear that? This is the part you need to underline. But only I saw that he sent out of his mouth as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath. Breath, well, is what? Spirit. Go back to Genesis. And out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests. And they that I'm sorry, and they were all mixed together. The blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, and burned them up everyone, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid. So this fire came out of this man's mouth, and you ought to know who this is. It is that living word, okay? That Messiah. You can read in Hebrews 4. You can see it in the Revelations, okay? They was consumed, as what the prophet was saying. Zechariah would say this. Okay, they was consumed. That means there was nothing left for them but dust and the smell of smoke. Okay, so Ezra was afraid when he saw this in his dream. Let me keep reading. Verse 12. Afterwards saw I the same man came down from the mountain, and called unto him a other peaceable multitude. So we have two different types of multitude. We got a violent multitude that came from the four winds of the heavens, the east, the south, the west, the north. And now we have a peaceable multitude. So we're going to learn about this peaceable multitude. Verse 13. And there came much people unto him, whereof some were glad, some were sorry. Some of them were bound, and other some brought of them that were offered. Then was I sick through great fear, and I awakened and said, Thou hast shown thy servant wonders from the beginning, and hast counted me worthy that thou shouldest receive my prayer. Show me now yet the interpretation of this dream. So now we're going to get into the interpretation of this dream. Okay, let us keep reading. For they that were not left were in heaviness. Do you hear that? For they that were not left were in heaviness. Now understand I the things that are laid up in the latter days. Underline that this is for the latter days. This is dealing with a future prophecy. which shall happen unto them and to those that are left behind. Therefore are they come into great perils. Great perils mean what? Great dangers. And many necessities, like as these dreams declare. Yet it is easier for him that is in danger to come into these things than to pass away as a cloud out of the world and not to see the things that happen in the last days. And he answered unto me and said, so I'm going to read this verse again. This is what Ezra is saying. Yet it is easier for him that is in danger to come into these things than to pass away as a cloud out of the earth. So it's easy for him to come into these dangers, okay, to see these things, than to die and not see the things that happen in the last days. And he answered unto me and said, so the Father's going to answer him now. The interpretation of the vision shall I show thee, and I will open unto thee the thing that thou hast required. Whereas thou hast spoken of them that are left behind, this is the interpretation. So we're going to look at what the dream is saying about those who are left behind. Okay. He that shall endure the peril in that time. So he that shall endure those dangers in that time, what time is that? The latter day, have kept himself. They that be fallen into danger are such as have works and faith towards the Almighty. Underline that. That's a characteristic of them that are left behind, that's going through these dangers. They have what? Works and faith. Okay. Verse 24. Know this, therefore, that they which be left behind are more blessed than they that be dead. Because why? They have the privilege to see these things come to pass. This is the meaning of the vision. Whereas thou sawest a man coming up from the midst of the sea, the same is he whom YAHUWAH the highest have kept a great season, which by his own self shall deliver his creature, and he shall order them that are left behind. So we already know that this is talking about the Messiah, Yahusha HaMashiach. Okay? He shall order them that are left behind. And you think about it, when you're dead, that's it. You have to go through judgment when you face the Father. But for those who are left behind, do y'all hear this? For those who are left behind, they have like another chance to make it right. But let's keep reading. Whereas thou sawest that out of his mouth there came a blast of wind and fire and storm, and that he held not a sword nor any instrument of war, but that the rushing in of him destroyed the whole multitude that came to subdue him. This is the interpretation. Behold, the days come when the Most High will begin to deliver them that is upon the earth. This is very important. Just go with 2nd Ezra chapter 6, verse 18 and 19. Okay? Dealing with Zion affliction. Zion affliction. The children of Israel of the children of Israel affliction. Okay? Let's read this verse again. Look, the days come when the Most High will begin to deliver them that are upon the earth. Underline the word deliver. Deliver, because we're looking at the title. There's deliverance in Zion and in Jerusalem. So we read in part 1, those scriptures, we learned that the Father is going to send a deliverer, right? Just like he did in the days of Noah, in the days of Abraham dealing with Sodom and Gomorrah and Lot. just like in the days of Moses, just like in the days of Joshua. Okay. Verse 30. And he shall come to the astonishment of them that dwell on the earth. Okay, underline that. That dwell on the earth. And one shall undertake to fight against another, one city against another, one place against another, one people against another, and one realm against another. So this be great fighting going on, right? So I'm just pausing, making sure I read everything. Okay, verse 32. And the time shall be when these things shall come to pass. So underline that. So this got to come to pass, y'all. When these things shall come to pass, and the signs, underline that, and the signs shall happen which I showed thee before. Underline that. So we have indicators, okay, my brothers and sisters. And then shall my son be declared, whom thou sawest as a man ascended. Who is this son? Yahusha HaMashiach. Verse 33, and when all the people hear his voice, underline that when all the people hear his voice, every man shall in their own land lead the battle. They have one against another. See? So this is telling you what's going to happen. These people are going to be fighting against one another. But when they hear the voice of the son of YAHUWAH, of the son of Yah, who is Yahusha HaMashiach, they're going to lead their battle. They have one against another. Okay? And an innumerable multitude shall be gathered together, as thou sawest them willing to come and to overcome him by fighting. So they're going to start fighting each other, y'all, and they're going to come against to fight against the Messiah. But he shall stand upon the top of Mount Zion. Underline that. That mountain that was graven where Ezra could not see where it came from, that is known as Mount Zion. Now y'all see how it relates to our deliverance in Zion. But he's going to be a time, notice here, but he shall stand upon the top of the Mount Zion. The Messiah would stand upon the top of the Mount Zion. Isaiah 11. Okay? Isaiah 11. Read that for your extra homework. But he shall stand upon the top of the Mount Zion. And Zion shall come and shall be showed to all men, being prepared and built, like as thou sawest the hill graven without hands. Remember the Testament, the Renewed Testament, we give you that answer about Zion to understand that mystery. Okay? So this hill is graven without hand, and it's going to be shown to all men being prepared and built. And this my son shall rebuke the wicked inventions of those nations. So when the Messiah come upon Mount Zion, okay, his son shall rebuke the wicked inventions of those nations, which for their wicked life are fallen into the temperance, and shall lay before them their evil thoughts and the torments wherewith they shall begin to be tormented, which are like unto a frame, and he shall destroy them without labor by the law, which is like unto fire. Do y'all see that? He's going to destroy them without labor by the law, underline that, which is like unto fire. Spiritual things are being spoken here. The living word, which is what? The covenant, which is the law. And when it's spoken, it will be fire. Okay? Whereas thou sawest that he gathered another peaceable multitude unto him. So underline this. Peaceable multitude. Now we're going to get the interpretation. Who is this peaceable multitude that come unto Yahusha HaMashiach? Those are the 10 tribes. Underline that. So the peaceable multitude that come upon Yahusha HaMashiach are the 10 tribes. This is the southern kingdom, which were carried away prisoners out of their own land. That was what? The land was Samaria. Into the time of Hosea the king, whom Salamazar, the king of Assyria, led away captive, and he carried them over the waters, and so came they into another land. Okay? Underline another land. We're going to look at the precepts. Let me see what that is dealing with, what precept or side note that's dealing with. It's telling us to read 2 Kings chapter 17, verse 3. 2 Kings chapter 17, verse 3. But, now hear this, those 10 tribes, they took counsel, but they took this counsel among themselves that they would lead the multitude of the heathen. Okay, they want to lead the Gentiles, the heathen, and go forth into a further country where never mankind dwelt. So underline that. They want to go into a further country where mankind never dwelt. And there is another chapter we're going to read that deals with this prophetic prophecy, and that's in Torah. Verse 42, that they might there keep their statutes which they never kept in their own land. So they already knew they broke the covenant, which they didn't keep in Samaria. But they asking the Father take them to another country where mankind never dwelt, where they can keep the covenant, his statutes, his laws. Verse 43, they enter into the Euphrates by the narrow passages of the river. So they came into the Euphrates rivers by the narrow passages of the river. For the Most High then showed signs for them and held still the flood till they was passed over. I got to show y'all that picture. So he opened up the waters for them, okay, till they pass over, right? Just like he did, I think in the days of Joshua when they had to cross over that river, but I can't remember. I have to go back and read those scriptures. But anyway, let us keep going, y'all. For through that country, that was a great way to go. So the country that the Father was taking them to was a great way to go, naming of a year and a half. So their journey on foot was for a year and a half. Okay. And the same region is called Osiris. That means another land. Today, my people call it Turtle Island. Turtle Island. I do have kinship. When I say kinship, from what the Father been teach me about my bloodline, I don't know if I know through my mother's side and her mother's side, I have kinship to what they call to the Northern Kingdom. You can look at my facial features and tell I have kinship to them. So I'm still learning more about my bloodline. And there's a dream I do have to share with y'all that I had a while back. He gave me the name of one of those tribes. Okay. But that's for another video. So today my people call this land, which is Osiris, which means another land. Today they call it Turtle Island. Okay. Verse 46, then dwelt they that until the later time. So hear that. Then dwelt they until the later time. This is the 10 lost tribes. Until that later time. And now when they shall begin to come, the highest shall stay the springs of the stream again, that they may go through. Therefore sorrowest thou the multitude with peace. So the same thing's going to be done again. That's what I'm telling y'all. When he said, deliver thyself, these signs is going to be performed. And when he send that deliverer to deliver you, I'm telling y'all won't have no doubt about it or nothing. He just telling us when he makes that way for us to be delivered, whether you are one of the four groups, okay? Do not look behind. And remember, the deliverance for the house of Israel and the house of Judah is different from the deliverance of the bride of the Messiah and the 144. You got to come in the whole volume book. And for right now, as we read about the 10 lost tribes here, their deliverance is going to be within the earth. Okay? And we seeing some great signs taking place. This is dealing with the 10 lost tribes. Okay. I'm going to start at 46, so I'll make sure I don't leave anything out. Then dwelt they there until the latter time, and now when they shall begin to come, the highest shall stay the springs of the stream again, that they may go through. Therefore showest thou the multitude with peace. Father's telling me to let you know it is not Africa. Remember the prophecy that he had me to speak, as well as YAHUWAH prophetic messages that would be attached to this video. You will find that the 10 lost tribe is in the same place where the house of Judah is, dealing with Pharaoh, dealing with the daughter of Babylon. Yes. So it is not the continent of Africa. Even Josephus wrote unto us that they did not know where they went to this day. They could not find them. And remember, when we look at Acts, they all have foreknowledge where the others were spread to, and how they would come together all together in Jerusalem and worship. But for the 10 lost tribe dealing with the land of Samaria, they did not know where they went at, and Josephus will vouch that. Okay? Even in his time. All right. But those that be left behind of your people are they that are found within my borders. So you look at Ezra. Ezra is an Israelite. And he's telling Ezra, though that be left behind of your people, the people who are alive in that time, in that latter time, they're going to be found within Yah's borders. Again, remember, there is a prophecy how he's going to bring them back to the Holy Land again. Verse 49. Now, when he destroyed the multitude of the nations that are gathered together, notice here, now when he destroyed the multitude of the nations that are gathered together, he shall defend his people that remain. So those who are alive in this time, this appointed time, when the Messiah shall come and deliver his people, he's going to defend them. And then shall he show them great wonders, great signs and wonders. Then said I, O YAHUWAH, that bearest rule, show me this. Wherefore I have seen the man coming up from the midst of the sea. And he said unto me, like as thou canst neither seek out, like as thou canst neither seek out, nor know the things that are in the deep of the sea, even so can no man upon the earth see my son, or those that be with him, but in the daytime. Ooh, that's a deep spiritual mystery in there. So at that appointed time, during Ezra's time, he was not allowed to reveal his son unto him. Remember what that verse said, he was kept back for a great season. And notice what else this verse is saying, that those that be with him. Go back to Revelation. Remember, he's going to have the hosts of heaven with him, the 144. Okay? This is the interpretation of the dream which thou sawest, and whereby thou only art here lightened. So, okay, so he's showing him the dream. He gave them the interpretation of dream, and only he is giving knowledge of this. Okay, this is why it's so important. We got to study Ezra too, as we look at the book of Revelation. But thou hast forsaken thy own way and applied thy diligence unto my law and sought it. And the reason why the Father has blessed Ezra to see these great things, because notice here, he has forsaken his own way. So he put his will aside. The focus before him was our Father's will, doing what our Father wants us to do. And because of his diligence unto our Father's law, and because he sought his law, this is why the Father blessed him to know these sacred things. That's not revealed to everyone. Verse 55. Thy life hast thou ordered in wisdom, and hast called understanding thou mother. See here? So Ezra was given the knowledge, the wisdom, and the understanding that came from heaven above because he was spirit led by the Messiah. I mean, he was spirit led. you know, he showed the Father, how can I say it? He was worthy to receive those things. Okay. Verse 56. And therefore have I showed thee the treasures of the highest. After other 3 days I will speak other things unto thee, and declare unto thee mighty and wondrous things. Then went I forth into the field, giving praise and thanks greatly unto the Most High, because of his wonders, which he did in time, and because he governed the same, and such things as fall in their seasons. And there I sat 3 days. So here are the side notes for Second Ezra chapter 13. Take this time now to pause your screen. Okay. And another way you can spell Osiris is Arathh. Arath. Okay. Now I'm going to take y'all to the book of Deuteronomy to see how this was already prophesied about the 10 tribes. Okay, we're going to go to Deuteronomy chapter 33. Deuteronomy chapter 33. We'll read the chapter summary first, and I'm going to take you straight into those scriptures that you would need. Deuteronomy chapter 33, the chapter summary. The majesty of YAHUWAH, the blessings of the 12 tribes, the excellency of Israel, Yasharael. And we know that this book was written by the prophet Moshe. Okay? He was the only prophet that could talk to the Father face to face. This is why he's well known in Israel. I think I want to read the first 3 verses. And this is the blessing wherewith Moshe, the man of Yahuwah, the man of God, blessed the children of Israel before his death. As you see, every forefather was given the gift of prophecy and could get blessings. Okay. Verse 2, just like it was done with Jacob. Anyway, verse 2, and he said, the Lord came from Sinai. Adonai came from Sinai and rose up from Seir unto them. He shined forth from Mount Paran or Paran, and he came with 10,000s of saints. Underline that, y'all. He came with 10,000 of saints. These are most holies. This is in the days of Moses. From his right hand went a fiery law for them. Underline that. From his right hand went a fiery law for them, or it should be I think it might be pronounced fiery law for them. Yeah, a fire, a law for them. Do y'all see how this all connected? Oh, yes. What we just read. Hallelujah. Yea, he loved the people. All his saints are in thy hand. And they sat down at thy feet. Every one shall receive of thy words. Okay. So Moses had a great visitation from the Lord. All right, now we're going to go to verse 13. Now, this is a whole good chapter to read, but for the sake of time, we're going to get right straight to it. We're going to read the blessings that he speak unto Joseph. This is Moses speaking blessings unto Joseph. Okay. And we think of Ephraim. All right. And of Joseph, he said, blessed of the Lord be his land, for the precious things of heaven, for the dew, and for the deep that croucheth beneath, for the precious fruits brought forth by the sun, and for the precious things put forth by the moon, and for the chief things of the ancient mountains, and for the precious things of the lasting hills, and for the precious things of the earth, and the fullness thereof, and for the good will of him that dwelt in the bush. Lest the blessing come upon the head of Joseph. Did you hear that? Let the blessing come upon the head of Joseph, and upon the top of the head of him that was separated from his brethren. His glory is like the firstling of his bullock, and his horns are like the horns of unicorns. Now, to know what unicorns are, they are rhinoceros, and that can be found in the book of the Kings. And I'll give you that side note where you can see that at, but we can keep reading. With them, now this is the verse you want to highlight. Now, this is talking about of Joseph. When you look at the offspring of Joseph, we know Ephraim was made of the head, okay? And then Manasseh came as another tribe, but Ephraim was the head of his father Joseph. With them, let me read this back again because you're going to love how this verse sounds. His glory is like the firstling of his bullock. His horns are what? Kings, right? His horns are like the horns of unicorns, like the horns of a rhinoceros. With them, okay, so with them, so with his glory and with his horns, like his kings, with them he shall push the people together to the ends of the earth. Underline that, to the ends of the earth. And they are the 10,000 of Ephraim, and they are the 1,000 of Manasseh. Okay, underline that. So they're going to be pushed to the ends of the earth. The land that we are in now, known as North America, South America, and their islands. This is the land that, and I want to say about Canada too. When you look at that entire land mass, that was a land mass where mankind did not dwell. And it took a year and a half for the 10 tribes to come over here by foot for the Father opened the waters up where they can cross over into this land. And there's proof and evidence that they are here. They have found like Paleo Hebrew carved into stone. They have found the 10 Commandments here. There's a book that I share on the YouTube page that's written by I think his name Thomas. Let me see if I have that book over here with me. If not, but he but this was a European looking at the indigenous tribes over here, looking at the natives. That's what I say, the natives over here. And through his search, he found that these natives in Americas, most time we think of most natives in North America, okay, were no are the children of Israel, and that's proof. Okay, so as we see written in Torah, this has come to pass. So the ends of the earth, that means everybody was pushed over here, because in the old world, you see, when we look at the seven continents, we can see in the old world most of everybody was familiar with the other continents of the earth, except when it came to North and South Americas, um, and their islands. Okay, and I will get. Let me see, can I get a picture of the seven continents? Hold on for us. So you know what these seven continents are. Let me go back to the other one. Oh, I don't like the way that look. But anyway, the seven continents are here. We have North America, that's one, South America, two, Europe, three, Africa, four, Asia, five, Australia is six, and then the seventh one is Antarctica. Okay. So we see that North America right here, all this land mass over here is one continent right here, and the islands. And my people had an understanding that this landmass was in shape of Turtle Island. I'm going to show you a picture of that. And what I think is so amazing, how did my people know that? Because it's not like people was flying in the sky. So how did they have knowledge of that? So let me show you this one so you can see what the seven continents are. North America, South America, Africa, Europe, Asia, that big land mass there. Then we got Australia, which is here, and then Antarctica. Okay. And then for Turtle Island, let me show you a picture of that. I think it's this one right here, that when you look at the shape of America, see right here, and with this tail, this is why my people would call it Turtle Island. Because America got that little tail and stuff. Let's see here. Let me click on this one. Make it so I can show it to y'all. Mm, Let me try this again. So when you look at the North America, see how the tail of it at that time. So that's what they would call it, Turtle Island. Mhm. But the biblical name would be Osirith or Arath. Ar Arathrath. I think I said Arathrath. Excuse my tongue, y'all. It's terrible. But as you see here, why it's so important for us to understand the continents, okay? as well as because there's seven, and see how it relates to that sanctifying number seven. So there's seven large land mass. Okay. And when we look at North America, we do know that the 10 lost tribes did come there, and there's evidence of that. And I think I want to do see 10 commandments. Let's see here in Paleo Hebrew found in Americas, because there have been evidence of that too. Right here, it said it may surprise many people to learn that the oldest known 10 commandments written in Hebrew on stone may not be in the Holy Land, but in America. The controversy carving resides west of Los Lunas, New Mexico, at the bottom of a place called Hidden Mountain. Let's click on this. Here you go. Yeah, this is the one I'm talking about. So I would definitely put this article in there, and notice that it's in Luna, New Mexico. So when we look at the map here, let me see, of this, let me type on this one. We know Mexico is a part of, well, New Mexico is definitely part of the United States. I do know that. Yeah, because if you look at this little tail here, this is Mexico here, and we do know New Mexico is a part of United States. Let me see, can I get a better view? Hold on, y'all. Yeah, on this one right here, you can see New Mexico right here. It is between Arizona, Texas, and a little piece of Oklahoma land right there. And going back to this article, which is found in Israel 365 News, okay, about the Ten Commandments. And look, Paleo Hebrew. And we're going to read some of this. It may surprise many people to learn that the oldest Ten Commandments written in Hebrew on stone may not be in the Holy Land but in America. The controversial carving resides west of Los Lunas, New Mexico, called Hidden Mountain. Named the Los Lunas Decalogue Stone, it is also known as Mystery Stone, Phoenician inscript rock, or Mystery Rock. It contains the text of the Ten Commandments written in ancient Paleo Hebrew. As you see, you want to mess up, don't it? You see, wait. And Paleo Hebrew predates our modern style of Hebrew writing. Ronnie Siegel, the academic advisor for eTeacher, an online language academy, explained to Breaking Israel News. This form of Hebrew writing, this form of Hebrew writing was used for approximately 1,000 years and fell into disuse around 500 BC, and that's probably because when they went to the Babylonian captivity. Okay. The 800-ton boulder on which the writings were carved is so large that it may have been in its present-day location since the time of King Solomon, who ruled from 1014 BC to 97 BC. The more square-like Hebrew script used today came in common use after King Solomon reigned. Because you think about later on, his kingdom split, and this is how you have Northern Kingdom, and then later on they went into captivity by the king of Assyria because of their disobedience and not keeping the covenant. So this make all perfect sense in these biblical times. Since the writing on the stone is in Paleo Hebrew script, archaeologists surmise that this stone dates back to biblical times. During King Solomon's rule, it is known that the Israelites maintained reverence for the Ten Commandments and wrote with Paleo Hebrew letters, as the hidden mountain site was accessible by ship in ancient times. It is possible that the Israelites landed there during their voyages, but that's what they're going to say. But the Bible say otherwise. Our people was over here. King Solomon was an affluent and powerful king who was marked by many years of peace. He is considered the wisest of all men, who ordered a sea voyages around the world to satisfy his curiosity and about all things near and far. In addition, it is possible that the Israelites have been sent to find raw materials for King Solomon's vast building projects, which includes the building of the first holy temple. Let's see if I need to keep reading. This paragraph here to say scholar. Pfeiffer, an expert in Semitic languages, confirmed the Paleo Hebrew script and translate the writing as the Ten Commandments, which include, I am the Lord thy God who brought you out of the land, and thou shalt have no other gods. Okay. Excuse me, y'all. This getting this thing to cooperate is something. Okay. Like I said, they're gonna say the power came from the time of King Solomon, but y'all, I'm telling you, our people are here. And when you hear my dream on one of the tribes that the Father revealed to me, I know my people are here. And one of those tribes, I do know they do live in North Carolina, as well as another part of the United States. Let me see here. If there's anything else we need to read out loud. Here it said, we know that Hebrew was some American founding fathers, and that other ancient Paleo Hebrew inscriptions have been found in North America. Do y'all hear that? Other ancient Paleo Hebrew inscriptions have been found in North America. Siegel told Breaking Israel News. Hebrew not only connect us back to our godly and biblical roots, but also for northern roots, because this land lost tribe who are my people. And like I said, this article to look at, I'm trying to see where they let me scroll down further. Words, they don't want to tell anything else. There we go. So this article with the description box, I'm glad that we have given us this prophetic understanding on 10 tribes. So when you come with 18, when it said delivered ourselves place, and as we see upon Mount Zion, the 10 and, was with the daughter of chapter 11. Yeah. So it will take place as the prophet says. Remember Messiah, and 144. Remember what about your deliverance and how that would happen too, because there's stillness in the heaven, and and each of these group has a certain role to play out divine testimony that we're learning about in Revelation. And now Paul is saying unto in Romans 11, chapter verse 26 through 11, the devil was cutting up. I to see, the scriptures and the most important. Um, let me plug this. Okay, so that's fine. Just don't want to respond, but because he's mad, I will be including. Hope y'all enjoy this word today. So look out for part 4. We're about to go deeper about this deliverance in Zion and looking at the prophecy of the deliverer. Continue to preach that the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Make sure people receive salvation as written in Romans chapter. And if you have no one to baptize you, spirit baptism as a way for